The Act is a crime anthology TV series that came on Hulu, and this first season basically refocuses on the real life story of Gypsy Rose Blanchard and the murder of her mother, Dee Dee Blanchard. And basically, Dee Dee is overprotective of her daughter Gypsy, who is trying to escape the toxic and very physical, traumatic, abusive relationship that she has with her mom. Gypsy's quest for independence opens up a Pandora's box of secrets in terms of Gypsy's illness and her not being able to be normal because of the lies that her mom has basically tells her as we find out throughout all 8 episodes of this first season. And that ultimately leads to the murder of her mom. And this is based on an article that details the 2015 crime of the murder of Gypsy's mom, caused by her and her boyfriend. The Act is great. This is how you do a drama based around a actual event. But the hardest part going into The Act is that when you really break it down and read the article and then see interviews and watch documentaries of it, Gypsy being the whole story between Gypsy and her mom and what all the stuff her mom does to her is actually a lot more hard to believe in those interviews and documentaries and articles you hear about it than it is here, because this show doesn't pull any punches. It does take a chance in a lot of this entire series. Every single episode just kept getting better and better and better until the point where you get to that very last episode where you do get to the court case, where you do get to the trial of Gypsy. And what this whole, and it just builds up to it very well. And when you see the things that Dee Dee puts her own daughter through, when you see the things that Dee Dee does to Gypsy, they're very hard. Those scenes are very hard to watch, but you do have to take into account this is about Gypsy Rose and her toxic as heck relationship with her mom, and her mom is basically a pain in the neck, pretty much. But the biggest thing that does sell this story is the way it's executed and the way it's written, because the way it's done is very well handled, it's very well executed, and it really does go forth into what results in the final episode. The direction and writing is the strongest standpoint of the act. It really does require you to have to be able to sit through all of 8 episodes of it, because you do have to see it to believe it for yourself. And I do have to take a minute to appreciate the dark atmosphere that they're going for with the act. because Dee Dee does some very dark and pretty much disturbed things to her own daughter, such as cutting off her own hair, pulling out her own teeth. She basically puts Gypsy through a living hell, pretty much. The acting of the entire cast is really great as well. Patricia Arquette, Oscar winner, she's a great actress. She does a great job as Dee Dee Rose Blanchard. Dee Dee Blanchard. You almost forget that it's Patricia Arquette because it's the makeup and the way she sells the performance and the way she comes off. But the easiest standout of the act is Joey King as Gypsy. Because she did have to cut her hair for this part, and I have to give her a lot of respect for willing to go that far and willing to take on a very daunting and daring project like this, because like I said, when you really look more into the story of Gypsy and her mom and the ultimate murder that led to her mom being killed by her own daughter and her boyfriend, it's pretty sad, but at the same time, you find yourself rooting for Gypsy because she's trying to break free of her own mom. Also, the music and the camera work and cinematography work is also really well done here. I do have to give that a lot of credibility. It does come into play. It does make you feel like you are basically feeling a lot of sympathy with Gypsy. There's not one bad episode of this anthology crime drama. In fact, all the episodes, like I said, got better and better as they went along. But my favorite episode of the act is the last episode, because that's where it basically shows you. It basically gets down to the nitty-gritty what you saw in the marketing for this series, and it doesn't shy away. And if they do decide to come out with a second season of the act, I'm not sure what more you could possibly do or who would you focus on next. But I'd be interested to see how the second season of this will turn out with a different story like this one, because it's the way this is played out is well thought out, is well executed, and the fact that the actual writer of the BuzzFeed article, Dee Dee wanted her daughter to be sick, Gypsy wanted her mom to be killed, Michelle Dean, the fact that she also wrote this entire series and she is the creator of this series, does play into a very big aspect into it. So I definitely have to commend her, and I also have to give kudos to Hulu for not messing this up, because this easily could have been ruined and made the whole story of Gypsy look like for nothing. But they didn't go that route. They did it completely straightforward. It's a lot of great build-up, a lot of great atmosphere, a lot of tension, and the cast really does sell you on this, especially Patricia Arquette and Joey King. And the rest of the cast are really good too. Annasophia Robb, Calum Worthy from Austin Alley, Chloe Sevigny. All the cast is really good here. Overall, the act is a tough show to watch, but it's definitely a show I do recommend checking out on Hulu. It's on Hulu now if you want to see it. enough. It would be nice if they did put this out on DVD so that way more people could be interested in seeing it. But I don't know. And that's good. And if you want to know more about the whole story of Gypsy and her mom, I would give you 2 recommendations after watching this. If you want to know more, you can read the BuzzFeed article. You can go on YouTube and find interviews with the real Gypsy herself and talking about her relationship with her mom. And you can also get to go the Investigation Discovery app, and you can find a documentary called Gypsy's Revenge, and it'll basically tell you everything you want to know. But as for the act, I will give this my highest grade. So this gets a bronze seal of approval for everything I just mentioned. So let me know what you guys think of the act down below. Did you like it? Did you not like it? I can understand if some people will be turned off by the nature of this anthology genre, because this is some very intense stuff you're delving into. Be sure to follow all my social media links down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. You guys keep cool and join the epic taskness.